Okay, let's get the conversation back on Market Street, downtown Lagos. The debt market has been very active since the week started. We're a little bit gentle, a little bit quiet. Now we're getting to the middle of the week when most of the activities begin to take place with the Debt Management Office 150 billion naira first naira bond offering in the new year. This is opening up the calendar. Let's get Choma Udu, who is fixed income dealer at GT Bank, to talk to us via FMDQ Exchange Place, the home for debt and currency and other derivatives trading. Choma, it's good to see you again. You look really upbeat. Tell me something. Great. Great. Okay, so the 150 billion offering, DMO is on the streets today. What's your reading of what the subscription will be for this reopening?
Actually, Watson, we have two auctions today. The DMO is coming at the short end of the curve and the long end of the curve. That's the T-bills and the bonds market. For the bonds market, we have 150 billion across three tenors, the 5, 7, and 10 years. And then on the short end of the curve, the T-bill curve, we have 254 billion at 91, 181, and 364 days. I'll go to the bond space. For the bond space, I think that we're going to see a lot of subscription, being it the first auction of the year. We have a lot of maturities coming into the system. We also have received FAC coming to the system. About 314 billion has been posted into the system, and then we have a maturity tomorrow of about 190 billion. So there's liquidity in the system. So we anticipate a lot of interest at both sides of the auction today.
The chairman, again, this is where you find the central bank on one hand and the debt management office coming to the market at the same point, squeezing the market for liquidity. How much of liquidity do you think will be left, most likely by Friday or by tomorrow? Again, if you throw in the FX, the expected FX bidding for by the central bank for the intervention.
So far this year, average system liquidity has been about 140 billion. So I think when all the auctions are done, I think we should have over 100 billion in the system.
That's small amounts of money. I'm sure GT Bank alone can take up that.
It's enough to go by for the banks.
Yes, it's enough to go back. But again, when there's a little bit of a pressure here, and again, we're done with the mop-up and all of that, where do you see the yield curve? Find it for me.
Okay. Like you rightly said, about 100 billion average is not a lot of liquidity in the system. So what we've noticed is that we've seen a lot of rediscounting at the short end of the T-bill curve.
Okay.
As a result of that, we've seen rates trend up to about 14–13% at that space. So what we'll notice is that we'll see a lot of rediscounting when all the liquidity has been mopped up.
Yeah, so are folks rediscounting because they're a little bit worried about the elections, or just trying to play a little bit safe until everyone is sure who is going to come out of the ballot box as the new head of the new administration?
On the contrary, Bosan, we've seen a relative calm in the fixed income markets. We've not seen any panic rediscounting in that space.
Okay, no panic. Don't panic, anyone. Okay, keep it cool. And you looking like someone who's in control. You're not panicking, are you?
We are in control. I think we are. That's a good thing to say.
I like that.
But we've not seen any panic and rediscounting. No.
I love that. I don't like panic rediscounting. When panic rediscounting comes, it goes all the way into the system, and I don't like that. Thank you very much, Maud. It's good to have you on the program from FMDQ Exchange Place, fixed income dealer of GT Bank. Let's change gear a little bit. See you some other time. Shema, thank you. Okay, let's get on to the equities market, I'm sure. Let's find out if Temple Ashaju, business correspondent, is panicking. The stock market is live to us from the trading floor. Let's hear from him how the stock market is starting off today. We've got a very back-footing start for Monday and Tuesday. Temple, Chairman Udu from FMDQ Exchange Place says she's not panicking at the stock, the debt market. So are you panicking with what you're seeing as the early numbers, the opening hour of the equity space?
We're seeing marginal losses in the market right now. So a few traders are just coming into the markets, trying to settle down to see how they can commence trading. And so of course, to execute their mandates from their clients. I haven't been able to speak to so much of them this morning as far as the market is concerned. But then, you just have to react to whatever is going on in the market. Don't forget, equities react a lot more to what we say in the economy, macroeconomic variables specifically. And so we'll wait to see how the numbers interpret that, whether the traders are panicking or not eventually. However, we've seen some 0.06% loss in the market as we speak. And, before the break, you talked a bit about the corporate disclosures coming in from a couple of companies announcing their board meetings and all that. That's the trend we're seeing more now. So it puts a lot of traders in a position where they want to just wait and see position to see how some of these companies will release their numbers eventually. UBA, for example, has talked about some earnings to be released soon, and of course, a lot of investors are waiting to see if there will be dividends from that. AXA Mansard notified the stock exchange of its meeting with the meeting of its board members scheduled for February 13, and after which they will now declare their audited financial statement made available to NICOM, its immediate regulator first, before it then comes to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And so that's kind of basically what people are waiting to see eventually, Bosun.
Yes, of course, there's going to be a lot more on that. But again, it spooks the market a bit. Just we were trying to discuss this earlier at the opening part of the program, Tempo, about PZ Cousins in the UK giving some profit warning because they say the markets in Africa and in particular Nigeria, because of our demography, will be impacting 13% of their pre-tax profit for 2019. That's not some good news for the consumer goods space and for investors who are looking at the consumer goods market.
Yeah, I agree with PZ actually did about the same thing sometimes last year, sounding some kind of profit warning, and of course talking about the implications of the kind of low demand they saw in UK, and then of course how it impacted Nigerian markets too. So now that it is impacting the Nigerian market, a lot of traders here and of course analysts have done their homework on this particular company, and I don't think so much is expected in terms of whether by way of capital appreciation or in terms of dividends and all of that from PZ, which is, of course, a consumer goods company. So we just wait to see what will happen eventually, and we'll see how traders will react to it.
What are we finding out early today? As far as the market is about 0.1% in the negative territory to start. This is not as deep as we saw it within the first hour or so of trading on Monday and Tuesday. This is a little bit slightly better, isn't it? Are the banks still taking some beating?
Well, I think the banks are still taking some beatings. We've seen the likes of Access Bank and Diamond Bank on the activity chart at this moment. Not much has changed, some marginal losses on their numbers so far. But now that, the rainfall also delayed a bit of activities in the market generally. So now that the rain has stopped, and then we'll see how traders will then continue to react to the numbers.
Don't blame it on the rain. We know we've had 4 rainfalls in Lagos ever since. But this one overnight was very cooling, as it were, and we all a bit refreshed. The heat's a little bit out. Yeah, thank you. Well, we had a bit more nice sleep and all of that, thanks to the rain. Whatever. But if the market finds itself in negative territory, don't blame it on the rain. Blame it on something else. I'm not saying you should blame it on politics. Don't quote me, Temple. I'm out of here. Temple is also out of here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.